Okay.
Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise where I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now. In case you forgot or fell off, I'm still hot, knock your shell off. My money stacked fat, plus I can't turn the swell off. The franchise doing big business, I live this, it's automatic, I win this, so you.
In honor of the great John Cena, who's wrestling his last match tonight, Coach, we opened up the show with "You Can't See Me." The time is now, and John Cena, the time is up, man. Welcome to the Coach and Coach podcast. We are your illustrious host. I am the defensive coordinator. I am that little guy that get criticized by everybody. And that guy right beside me, he is the offensive coordinator. He's the one that's in the press box. You don't even know that he's calling the plays, but he got me up there signaling in plays. And when they don't work, they look at me like it's my fault. He is Coach Benji. And we make up the Coach and Coach podcast. Do me a favor. If you're on with us live on TikTok, if you're on with us live on Facebook, share it. Let somebody know that the Coach and Coach podcast is on tonight. And if you happen to miss it, I hope you don't miss it. I hope you have this stuff set that every time we come on, you're on. You know to come on. You know to get back on when the Coach and Coach podcast hit your notification. But if you happen to miss it, don't worry. We will have this episode available for you on Spotify. We'll have it available for you on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast. We got you covered. Coach, man, it seemed like this was a long week, brother. We had a lot of stuff happen, and you and me both were just trying to struggle to try to get on, but we made it on.
Yeah, it's been a week. And then I had to go to Como today for my wife's family Christmas or Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I guess Thanksmas is more the appropriate term, but it was a long week, man. I know that y'all are starting to hit that grind of the basketball season where you're playing what Tuesday, Friday, Saturdays, the week, and then you're practicing in between that. So y'all stay busy, and we wanted to go live Thursday, and I didn't get home from work till 9:45. So
Ooh.
it's been a struggle to get on live, but I'm glad to be here with you, and hope that we're not too late on all the news that's come out in the days since we were last live, but we'll give our take on what's out there.
Yeah, we tried. We had a wedding scheduled to go to today, but my wife got sick, and she stayed in the bed pretty much all day.
Mm.
That little girl is wearing her out, and I have to sit there with no answers. She keeps saying I'm hurting, I'm sick, and I just like I don't know what to say, man. So she's getting frustrated with me because I don't have no answers for her, Coach. I don't know what to tell her. All my answer to everything is, have you called a doctor? 'Cause I mean, I can't help you. You know more about medicine than I do. I can't help you right now, baby. But
Right.
she's mad at the world. But she did get up a little bit a few minutes ago, and she was able to eat. And then the first thing she said, "Well, how long we was gonna be?" I said, "Now, come on now, don't do me like that now. However long it takes for this show to get done, now,
I
don't do me
promise
like
we'll go as fast as possible.
don't do me like that now. Don't try to guilt me in the cutting the show short. I don't do that now. And one day this gonna pay for this. One day this gonna take care of us. So, but man, we glad to be back on with you guys, and make sure that if you're on TikTok, hit that screen. Let us know you love us, you like us. You love to hate us, you like to love us, whatever it may be. Hit that screen, and if you ain't too mean, let us know how you feel. We'll try to do our best to answer any question that you may have for us. But, Coach, let's dive right on into it. Man, I had an interesting week this week.
Let's hear about it.
Well,
What you got? What you got?
well, man, there's a lot of stuff that went on this week, man, as you know. For those that don't know, for TikTok world, those that don't know, I also coach girls basketball at Bruce High School. And, On last year, we had a very successful. Well, I ain't gonna say the only time you can be very successful if you win a state championship, and we didn't do that. But we had a pretty decent year. Graduated 7 seniors. Also had 2 players that did not return. So we lost 9 players. But hey, we just said, hey, let's go play ball. And coach, on Tuesday night, it just didn't work out for us, man. It was a bad night. It was one of the worst nights, and I said, well, I know Coach gonna probably ask me some questions on it, and I ain't gonna back down from it. Whatever he gotta ask me, I'm gonna roll with it. But on Tuesday night, man, we went to East Union, who is probably gonna be the 2A state champions. They are that good, and they pretty much uh, I guess you could say in a football relevancy, we got shut out. I mean, we got beat 68-4. We scored 4 points, Coach. And man, boy, were they I'm gonna say trying to light me up, but boy, I got some stuff I want to get off my chest today. But man, they tried to light me up, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, I've never coached basketball, but I can imagine when you lose more seniors and more uh, depth than the number of players allowed on the court, that there has to be some growing pains. So, coach,
Yeah,
let's talk about it from that aspect. As far as like how many people in your starting five have played valuable minutes
two,
before the start of this season?
1.5.
One and a half. So you're out of five starters, you have one player who's played valuable minutes
Yeah, she ended up
in high
she
school
ended up
basketball.
she ended up starting at the end of the season last year as she got better. The other one tore her ACL like in I think I want to say January. She had surgery in February, and for her to even be back playing ball right now that I think about it, it's pretty freaking impressive.
Yeah,
So, so just I would say 1.5.
man. So I mean, I my time as a football coach, it was really hard when you had, there's 11 on the offense, there's 11 on the defense, and if we had a guy go down, you know, you almost felt it when you didn't have just straight up depth behind it.
Oh
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't imagine, I because basketball is also a game. You got to have your chemistry, you got to have all that, and when you don't have a unit that's been out there for what? How many games have you played this season? Five,
We
6?
played 6 games.
I don't know if 6 games is enough with the inexperience to just say, "Hey, we've got this thing figured out
And
and
you know
roll
what,
it."
Coach?
So,
I get that. I get that. I always tell my girls. I tell them this. I said, we're not going to make that excuse that we're too young or this and that and the other because I said because you practice, we practice, and but it was a lot of things that were said, and I'm the type of person. I'm like this. I know you have heard me say this many times. I I don't allow people to build me up so they don't have the power to tear me down. People words I could care less about. That's one thing. I'm so glad that I'm built like this because I could care less about how somebody think about me or what they think about me. Because what I found out in coaching, this is what you sign up for. How many times have we been ticked off at a coach on a college level?
oh, plenty.
It comes. I'm pretty sure
Just about every Saturday.
Pete Golding gonna do something next year, man. I'm gonna be critical. I'm gonna be mad, and it'll just go with it. That comes with it. So if you're gonna coach, then that's something you might as well get used to doing, and especially if you're gonna coach in your hometown, which is probably one of the hardest things. What a lot of people don't understand. I wish people, and this is those people's story to tell. But even a current state champion coach, man, went through a lot of criticism, in which I'm just scratching my head like, are y'all crazy? So, and it happens. It had happened. And, some people took some personal shots at me. And I'm used to that. I'm used to that, brother. That's what they always do. When people don't get their way, that's what they always do. I see it's just a trend, especially it's the trend here, and not making no excuses about it. And I ain't gonna spend a lot of time on it because we got a lot of stuff we got to talk about. But the only reason that I even addressed it because I did go after this media personality who posted the scoreboard, and I contact him personally. I didn't go on Facebook. I didn't do all of that. I contact him personally. And you know, you got a right to post what you want to post, and I just told them how I felt, and I left it alone at that. I didn't want no dialogue. I didn't even communicate back with them. I just let them know how I felt about it. But I knew it was coming because and the only time I will get involved, man, I'm good. People can say what they want about me, man. I don't care. Man, I'm not gonna lose 1 inch of sleep because you don't like me, or you got something to say about me. I could care less. But I do when I feel like my kids are being you know criticized in a manner that's beyond basketball, then that's usually when I step in. And I usually tell people, man, don't waste your time trying to defend me. Why? People don't want to hear that. People want to win because this is what I found out, Coach. Last year, um, when I took over the girls, Coach, 7 years prior, and you could go and for those that like to fact check, Max Prep is right there, right for you. You can go check it. 7 years prior for me taking over the girls in Bruce, um, they had won 23 games total in 7 years. 23 had one double-digit win season, which was the year before I took over. They won 10 games. Had two times where they won 0 games. Coach, in 5 years, we've managed to win 49 games in 5 years. Like last year was the first time that we hosted a playoff game. Last year was the first time we hosted a playoff game at Bruce, in which crap. If you looked in the stands that night, you'd have thought we wasn't doing nothing. So that's why I don't really worry about what people say, because if you are quiet when we're successful, then you're quiet to me when you're critical. Because we had a playoff game, and you'd have looked in the stands, like the first home playoff game in almost like 14, 15 years, and there was nobody there. There was nobody
Yeah.
there. So that's why I don't really care about much about what people got to say about how we coach and what need to be done, because that group and this group is going to be one day successful, whether it be with me or whether it be with somebody else. I don't make decisions off of what people think. I'm strong enough minded not to worry about what people think. So so anytime you ever see me trying to speak on it is because my players are affected. If my players are good, man, you can go say I'm a cross-eyed, jack leg, uh, everything but a child of God. I don't care, because if you wasn't with me when I was up, so I ain't worried about you being with me when I'm down. So that was the thing. And one thing about it, Coach, I don't make no excuses. We got beat. We didn't look good. It was terrible. It was terrible on all phases. The kids. I mean, one thing I could say about it, the kids, it did affect them. They were bothered by it. They was bothered. Man, I was zoned out pretty much the whole boys game, because I was just like, man, I can't believe we only scored 4 points. But then at the same time, you got to understand. And then a lot of things were said, and a lot of things was. And one comment I did make, I said, hey, I could have shot the deuces after last year. I could have said, you know what? I'm not finna go through this. Maybe it's time. And this and it was a particular coach that I had talked to prior to the game. He told me he wasn't gonna he's not rebuilding no more. He has a very good team right now. And he said he finally got there. He said he's not rebuilding no more. I'm on rebuild number 3 in my
Yeah.
career as a basketball coach. I'm on rebuild number 3. And but you know what? I it's the joy of watching players go from, I don't want to say nothing, but watching players go from not so great or not so good to being, because last year out of those 7 seniors, we maybe had 2 that was really basketball players. you know, and them other 5 were able to go from, not doing too much of anything to being where they helped turn around this program. So that's why I don't too much waste my time trying to address, and I'm shocked that I'm wasting this much time. But you know what? We on this side of the fence too. So when we're on this side, we got to handle things, because we're going to be critical. We're going to be
Right.
critical, and it's cool. I'm cool with people being crap. If we play a game and we don't win, you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be like, man, we need to. Man, do you know how many times I wanted Charlie Weiss out of Ole Miss?
Hey, you
I was
finally
so
getting
mad.
it.
Hey, I was so mad at Kevin Smith, and after I did investigation, didn't even know it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
So I get it, man. I get it. So, you know, that's why I don't post about it. I don't do all that stuff trying to prove my point or trying to, because man, people gonna be people. You've been on the coaching side, man. You know how critical people are. They don't know what you're doing. They don't know the work that you put into it. They don't know one of the things that irritate me as a coach. I hate when I hear people in the stand. You need to run them girls. Like what?
Y'all think we ain't been doing that?
First of all, we've been doing it, but tell me what running is going to solve. If your answer to what we're doing, if we're missing a layup, I need to run them. Okay, I'm finna go run them. How's that going to fix the layup problem? If we turning over the ball, you need to run them. Okay, what is that going to solve? So one thing about it, my son played ball. Uh, yeah, I'm very grateful. But my son played football, man. My nephew played ball. And one thing I did, at first, and I can say this now, me and Coach Ray didn't have the best relationship when my kids and my nephew played for him. Like and you know what? When we started coaching together and we started having conversations, then we realized we had more in common and we became good friends. But before that, I blew a golden opportunity. Coach, to coach you. I
Yeah.
blew it because he called me and I declined because of my pride. So I blew a golden opportunity to coach my nephew, to coach my son because of pride. But one thing my son could never say, and my nephew could never say, he never heard us say a bad thing about their coach. Regardless of how we felt, regardless of how we felt about him, regardless of how we talked about, me and my brother-in-law, we had our conversations, but I understood my son play for this man. I need my son to respect this man.
Yeah. Want to play for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because my thing is that man made a decision that helped my son. Moving Trail from corner to linebacker, which somebody else would have been like, this boy only weigh 140 pounds. That saved his career. Now, even though, the defensive coordinator made the call, but he's the head coach. He could say
Yeah.
no, he could override it. But
Right.
because he did that, then Trail had an opportunity. So I learned through that, stay out of that stuff. And I know how to train my son. And I encourage parents, man, get with your kids, train them up. If you got to sit them somewhere, Lord, if I could have sent my son somewhere in the off season, if I could have sent my son somewhere in the off season to get extra training, I would have. I would have. Even I remember when Tay was getting ready for the NFL. I had trained him for so long, and I remember, and it broke Tay's heart because he didn't understand it. I said, Tay, this is as far as I can take you. You need to go somewhere else. You need to go somewhere else that know how to get people to the NFL. I don't know how to do that. I said, man, I have enjoyed training you. Man, I love it. And for a minute, Tay kind of took that like, how you just gonna blow me off right now? But my thing was, you need to get with somebody that's gonna help you get to that next level. I don't know how to get there. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that requires. I knew enough to get you to college. I
Right.
knew that much, but that next step, I can't get you there. And sometimes I hate that I did that for Rashad. I wish he would have went somewhere else, instead of being with me. So, I get it. I get it. Fans are supposed to be mad, and I want you to be mad that we're losing. Crap, we get mad when we lose. I'm telling you right now, if Ole Miss lose this game next week, I'm gonna be asking for Keith Carter head. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be asking for Pete Golden head. I'm gonna be asking for all their head. Because that's what you do as a fan. But when it's all said and done, man, you got to do what you can do, and you got to do it for your kid, man.
Right.
So that's my little spiel on that. And crap, I got to play East Union again. So hey, I hope I score more than 4 because I'm gonna tell you right now, Coach, that is the 2A state champions for this year. Man,
And they in girls sports, it's like they win it
woo,
in everything, anything they offer in
I am sick of
girls
East
sport.
Union. I love you, East Union, but I'm sick of you. You in my way in powerlifting. Y'all done been in our way in football. You in my way in basketball. I wish y'all go back to 1A. Go somewhere else, man. Get out of 2A. Crap, man. Boy, every time I look up, you're there. So, Coach, that's my spiel on that. Let's move on to the next subject, man. Man, it was a quiet week in college football, wasn't it?
Here and there, on field, yeah, but
Hey, it's very quiet.
there's plenty going on everywhere
No,
else.
ain't nothing going on, man. What's going on in college football right now?
Well,
Let's
Army and
see.
Navy played today.
Yeah, they play South Carolina State
As I
won
say,
uh,
the Celebration Bowl was today.
won the national champion, coming back and beating Prairie View, which was shocking because I remember when Prairie View was at the bottom of the totem pole when it came to the SWAC, and now they was playing for the championship. Um, hey, ain't it? How many schools? It's Michigan State. I'm just talking about the state of Michigan. There's another school up there, isn't it?
There's Western Michigan, Central
Western Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, I think they maize in blue. What did they call it?
Oh,
Maize
you're
in
talking about the Wolverines?
Oh, the Wolverines, my childhood team, because my dad stayed in Detroit, so I was all things Detroit when I was a little kid. I was the Detroit Lions, I was the Detroit Pistons, I was the Michigan, even though I was staying in Mississippi. I was trying to be a surrogate. I'm staying in Mississippi. Been to Detroit at that time, been to Detroit one time in my life, and I jumped on thinking I'm a Michigan. So I had a Wolverine. I could probably find the coat. I can find a senior picture in the annual where I had that Michigan Wolverine coat on.
Hey, I mean, from a merchandise standpoint, it kind of if you took a black and white photo, you could think the Block M, you could think it was Ole Miss, man. You could have pulled it off either way.
Now you can see it even in the black and white. You can see because I don't know who took the picture, and I'm gonna find out who took it. But coach, I was asleep. Somebody took a picture of me sleep in the
That's
class.
disrespect.
And then they put it in the annual. So whoever, I need the chat to help me out. If you in Bruce High School, if you in the chat, find out who was the annual sponsor in 1995 school year, because they put me in. They could have edited that. They didn't have to put me in there like that. Make it look like I didn't do no work in class. Well, we got some issues. Well, we don't have no issues, but it looked like there's some problems and some issues going on in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
And you know what, Coach? I'm glad we were able. I'm glad some time transpired because my initial thoughts, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts, and Coach gonna give you his thoughts as well. It's a shame. You hear all of the reports. Right now, you're hearing reports that the university knew about it. You're hearing reports, and once you started getting timelines together, and that's why my thing is not looking at the situation. This is the thing that I wanted to touch on is that in light of everything that untranspired now his coaching. I said head coaching was over with. His coaching career might be done.
Yeah.
I don't
I,
see. Yeah, I
I
don't see
kind of agree
nobody.
with you.
Yeah, I don't see nobody, at least on this level. If he can get to the professional level, you ain't got to worry about trying to recruit a kid. But on the college level, I think his college career is over with. But when we had the first initial report, and it was saying, okay, he had an affair with a staffer, and Michigan fired him with cause. When I heard that part, I immediately said, man, sometimes this stuff is just because just to be real, black coaches don't really get those second chances. When you mess up like that, you're done. You're
Yeah.
done. I remember when Nolan Richardson did what he did at Arkansas. We never saw Nolan Richardson as a head coach again. If you're not successful as a black coach, you don't too much get a second chance. So it's when you're a coach and in chat, you can correct me on it, but you can look at some stuff, but you got to cross all your T's and dot all of your I's. You can't miss one. I think I was looking up some stuff the other day. Tyrone Willingham has been the only coach, the only repeat coach. When he left, I think he left Stanford to go to Notre Dame. When Notre Dame fired him that same month, he went to Washington. And once that didn't work out there, I haven't heard his name again. Shannon, that was the head coach at Miami, haven't heard his name
Yeah.
again. When the last time you heard who's that at Mississippi State?
Sylvester Croom.
Sylvester Croom. When the last time you heard his name? And I think on the level that he did, I think he did a pretty. I was glad he was gone because he was giving us trouble, but I think he did a pretty good job as a coach. So it's just the fact that they don't. Black coaches don't get those same opportunities because I mean, crap. You look at Stark. You know, did some things. Boom, got a job. Kept getting job. Lane Kiffin was able to have a second chance. Still, my favorite Ole Miss coach, Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze got a second chance.
I don't know about Hugh Freeze though, Coach. I think if Hugh Freeze would have coached the 2017 Ole Miss football team and how bad it would have been, I don't know if he'd have got another chance.
I
I'm
don't
telling you,
think
it was going
it.
to be bad. Like we're talking
You don't think they would have gave him the benefit of the doubt
in
because of
2015. In 2015, he would have went. We went to the Sugar Bowl, and in 2017, we'd have probably been 3-9. I don't know how you come back from that, but I mean,
they would have gave
I
him.
definitely get what
You
you're
don't think
saying.
they would have gave him benefit of the doubt though because of the sanctions?
At that time, though,
Because I ain't no big fan of Matt Luke, but now I kind of understand. He was in a 3-year stretch where you
yeah,
were just holding the spot.
I think Matt Luke did a great job just holding the program together.
Yeah, you was just holding the spot until we was off probation. So now
you,
that made
you
me
might
feel
be right. You might be right. He might would have got the benefit of the doubt because of that. But I
because
think
of,
it would have. But you also like.
he
I'm
probably
telling
would
you, I
have.
think it would have. It would have
But you
been.
know what, Coach? He probably would have got fired because he would have been blamed. Somebody got to be the scapegoat on that, and you couldn't let if your program is on sanction. I don't know where they'll let a sitting head coach stay there if they were the coach that was there that have built up these sanctions that got your
Well,
team.
and I mean, I think it would have been worse had they not. I think getting rid of Freeze, they thought that was going to lighten the penalty. So, and
And
I mean,
then
what came out, they obviously had to do something. But
the most classic example, and I'm pretty sure it's a lot more. Petrino,
yeah,
he got fired for doing something inappropriate, and the same school hired him back. Like, so when I first saw the situation, I said, oh yeah, he's done. His head coaching career is done. And I hate when people be like, man, he unmessed up his bag. He unmessed up his bag. Well, coach, I'm pretty sure you got some information on that. He ain't the only one that's messed up.
yeah. My whole thing on it is I'm not necessarily, I think there's families involved immediately in the situation. Like, he was, I'm sure his people that he's closest to are definitely affected by it. But there's staff members that, you work under a certain coach to climb a ladder. And there's no guarantee that if you go somewhere else, you're going to remain at that same pay level, at that same position. You may be starting completely over in an off-field role or something. So there's going to be guys who, whenever, however long it takes for them to figure out who's the next head coach, there's going to be guys that aren't retained because they were more guys. They were his guys that came through the ranks or may have been on staff with Harbaugh and all that just transitioned and they all kind of climbed the ladder another rung. And they're about to start completely over. They're going to pack up, move, and some of them, I'm not saying every one of them's starting, but a lot of them guys don't know what's next for them. And I think that that's just as sad in the story in the whole situation, it's just a bad situation.
What do you think about the story that's saying that the university knew about the affair?
I mean,
There's a report that they knew about it.
uh, I didn't know, like, I'm not plugged into Michigan. I'm not going to act like I am, but I had, when the story broke, everybody started talking about it. So it's all you heard when you tried to find college football news. And I mean, there's multiple reports that this was going to happen at some point. Like they knew a month and a half, 2 months ago that at some point this was going to come to a head and that he would be let go. So
And they
I don't
had
know if they were trying to
had it in
get
the-
through National Signing Day, which to me doesn't matter anymore because those guys, I think once you lose the head coach you signed for, you have they'll just be able to jump in the portal
Yeah, they don't have to. They're not
January 1st
obligated
or
anymore.
2nd. There's no obligation to stay there. There's no probably no deal in place at
Coach,
you're so early in the game.
coach, and help me out with this. Pete Golden just posted another shark. What's going on? This was 26 minutes ago.
I have not been. I've been trying to uh put together my breakdowns for all the college football playoff games. I'm not sure. Could be a coaching. We've had.
Usually, whenever he's posting that shark, something is going on.
Let me see. Let me make sure that I can find out some stuff. I'm gonna let me know if I freeze up or anything, and I'll get off of it.
Yeah, I just whenever like anytime I see Pete Golden, we got to address that immediately because when I see him post a shark 26 minutes ago, usually when I see it, I try to check when it was posted. It kind of reminds me when Hugh Freeze always used to post the bass or the fish.
Yeah, the fish.
And we always knew it was something behind that fish, and now Pete Golden is always posting a shark, and I need to know what that shark is about.
Let's see. I'll see if I can find anything out.
But
But
yeah,
I would
coach,
assume it would be something to do with coaching staff.
but coach, yeah, like you said, man, and I think they had that in their back pocket. You know that now we don't have to pay them. We can let them go, and we don't have to pay them. And it's unfortunate for everybody. It's unfortunate for him. It's unfortunate for his wife, their children, and regardless, the young lady is going to be scrutinized as well, and rightfully so, because if she did it willingly, then she just is at as much as at fault as he is.
Yeah.
So where do Michigan go from here? Do you think they're waiting on the Oklahoma and Alabama game?
I'm kind of curious about it. I think that there's been talk that I'm not an Alabama insider either, but what stuff I hear is that the family of Kalen DeBoer thinks that it's a little much. That the passion. Like, think about it like this. Like, I'm sure Kalen DeBoer doesn't think, man, we won today. He thinks, thank God we won today, type stuff. And you're
Being under that,
replacing
being under that,
replacing
yeah.
and you're replacing one of the greatest to ever do it. So my understanding is the family has thought that this is pretty
And
a
then
pretty
he
stressful
probably
gig.
and then he probably have too much say so in what they do there. And that could be annoying. That knowing, everything I do is and then he's on national TV, as an advisor to my school. And if he criticizes me, then he can do it nationally.
Yeah,
So
and um, from my understanding, goes to like almost all of the still goes to all the games. Is in the box watching.
yeah.
You're the guy you're replacing is still sitting there watching you.
Well, let's go scenarios. Scenarios. Let's say Oklahoma, do the job, beat Alabama for the second time, and it's gonna be in Norman this time. So I mean, you got your home fans locked and loaded. Let's say Oklahoma, routs Alabama. Beat them by 2 or 3 touchdowns, the way I saw Alabama play the last 2 or 3 weeks. That's very possible.
I don't know. I know we'll get into breaking games down and stuff next week, and I'll have some written content on it too. But I don't know. Can Oklahoma score? That's my thing. I don't think there's any way this isn't a close game. I just don't think Oklahoma can score a ton of points either.
Let's
But
say
we'll see. I think it's a close game. But a loss period, you're talking about, you lost to Oklahoma late in the season. You lost to Georgia in the SEC championship game, and then you lose the first round of the playoffs. That's just not the Alabama expectation.
No.
Regardless of how, it doesn't matter if they were 1 point games or they were blowouts. That's not the standard. So I think it would. I think Michigan will pick up the phone and call its representatives and see what's going on. I'm curious. I'm sure Monday at his Monday presser, you need to pay attention to it because I'm sure he's going to be asked about it. I know he put some post out. Was it yesterday? He put a tweet out that was pretty much his answer to when he was asked directly about the Penn State job. He just said, "Hey, I'm focused on Alabama and yada yada yada." And he re put that post out. Does that put it to bed? I don't know. I think that,
Well, I mean, you got to say that. You got to
but
say
I
that.
do think if they were to win the game, um, how could you leave? Because then you're like, once you get past that first round, I mean, a national championship, you're obviously one step closer. So it's now really back on the table for you. And
But
I think Oklahoma or Alabama's path is one of the more palatable paths in the bracket, if you ask me.
I think Michigan will wait it out though. I think they could. I think Michigan feels we're Michigan. We can wait a couple of weeks before we make the decision. If it take 2 weeks to get an answer for him, we can wait. I think Michigan feel like that we can do that because when you think Big Ten, you think Ohio State, Michigan, and everybody else. Now Penn State have got in the conversation. I still see Oregon as a Pac-12 team, so I still ain't really warmed up to that yet. There was a time when you would mention Wisconsin. These are teams that you would mention every year. But when you thought Big Ten, you thought Michigan, Ohio State. So Michigan feels that, hey, we can wait 2 weeks. We don't have to have them right now. If they do win, I feel like they're going to put together a package. And if those reports are true, and the stress and scrutiny of, might as well say, playing under Nick Saban, it's almost like Nick Saban is your boss.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think another name I would pay attention to Jed Fish from at Washington as a potential candidate because I know that he was rumored around a ton of jobs um, when the carousel was moving fast and it didn't pan out. But I, again, I'm not plugged in there, but I read things that point to him wanting to get out of Washington. So that may be another name to look at. And then I don't know, I don't know if there's any Michigan fans on TikTok that's in here or not, but I've also heard that there's people on staff that they would be okay with hiring if they just promoted somebody. So I think there's um several things to look for in the coming week.
And it's unfortunate for the kids, man, because those kids, it just got a
Yeah, you
report.
got one of the most expensive quarterbacks in the country on your roster. I think you're going to have to move pretty
Or
soon.
you're
Which
you're gonna
my
lose him.
understanding is that they feel pretty confident from a financial standpoint that they'll be able to retain him. But I feel like you're going to want to get somebody in the building to
Uh,
to kind of
Darren,
sure that up.
you can cancel that for 3 reasons. It's cold in Michigan, and I ain't trying to see Ohio State every year. Y'all want me to beat them, and it's cold in Michigan, so that already rules me out as the Michigan head coach. But we just got reports that Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback of the Indiana Hoosiers, just won the Heisman. Coach, I thought you had to be at a major school to get your player a Heisman.
Yeah.
That's why we.
Oh,
I thought that was the case.
yeah. That was my. I mean, I just thought it was in stone that you had to be at a major school to make the college football playoff to
Yeah,
win conference championships and
yeah. The only
win the
reason you
Heisman,
ain't got no
win all the
Heisman
awards, right?
because they got so many Heisman's down there. They
And
don't
you
have.
never have to like promote the kids. You just make the show all about you and
Yeah,
go win your Heisman. You don't have to mention one positive thing that your team's done throughout the season. And but anyway,
yeah. Good luck, Hattiesburg Jr. Uh, that's their colors. but he just man. Indiana is having a remarkable year. You are the number one team in the nation, number one seed, and you have a Heisman Trophy winner. Man, what a time to be alive in Indiana.
yeah, I mean, uh, also you got to play. I coach you set this up, so I'm finishing it off. But I think how could they? host a college football. Well, they're not hosting; they're moving on. But how did they go undefeated at home this year and only play in front of like 54,000 people? I thought you had to have like
Oh,
100,000 seat stadiums
you gotta
to be
have everything,
successful.
coach. You
It's
know,
crazy.
now
Shout out.
4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, I kept telling the public that NIL have evened the playing field. That's why you got Clemson's struggling. That's why Nick Saban tucked his tail and left, because he had the advantage. He had the advantage. Now that the playing fields are even now, crap, you if you play your cards right, Memphis could be in the running next year.
And you have free agency every year, so you can go get the exact pieces. Like if there's anything that Signetti's done, I think he's done a great job of getting the exact pieces he needed because he put this together pretty fast, Coach. I mean, we're talking about made the playoff last year in his first year, won the conference championship, and has got the first round bye in his second year. I just think, it's not only the fact that you have the playing field level because of NIL, but it's also what you do with it. And I think you know, they've certainly maximized it.
Deion Sanders said something. He was on the I think he was on the pivot, if I'm not mistaken. He might have been on the pivot this week. And they asked him about the NIL, and he said something, and this is the first time I ever heard Deion as a coach kind of just be like, okay, there are some deficiencies. Deion said that, we just don't have that type of money to go pay for 3 or 4 or 5 linemen like these other schools can.
Right.
That's the first time since Deion's been coaching, where I felt like he just realized, my name ain't enough.
Yeah, this is different.
If Deion would have coached 10 years ago, his name, Deion coming into your living room, handles everything. This is why head coaches don't have to recruit no more. Like, it's easier for a head coach now. You ain't got to go sit in somebody's living room and try to convince the kid. And coach, if you haven't listened to Ed Ogeron on a podcast, man, do not cheat yourself. Please go listen to him. I don't care who
Oh
podcast.
yeah.
Just go listen. If you haven't listened to Ed Ogeron, please go listen to him. That is, man, he is missing. I don't know why he haven't been doing interviews, but man, he been missing out. His stories are crazy. But you don't have to be that coach. Your name ain't enough anymore. That's what I was trying to explain to people about somebody, is that the name no longer matter. You got to have the money to get the players now. You gotta have a general manager that know how to do this stuff. You got to have an AD that know how to. You need professionally minded people around your program that can get the money into the right places. Now, the beauty about it, that if I spend some money here and it don't work, I'm not obligated to next year. That's the only difference. Okay, we're not signing 3-year deals for $7.5 million. So if I spend $2 million on you and it don't work, I don't have to go back to you. I can go put that $2 million into something else.
Right.
So
Which, I mean, I think because I do want to do a bunch of fun stuff in the off season, but I have a way of, and I think there's some easy fixes to getting some kids to stay at your school too. If we implemented some things that really doesn't penalize the kids, it would penalize the schools that are
that they go into
that are tampering stuff and getting
Oh.
you to go. And we'll have, but I want to save all that stuff for the off season because I want to play if I was commissioner for the day, what are some things I would do differently? I
Coach,
got some good stuff.
our mission this next year, Coach, we're going to the SEC Media Day. I don't know how.
Hey, I'm telling you, I want to go. So I'm with you. We
Going.
locking in. Hey, if y'all make sure you follow and like and all that and share
That's
that
the
way.
thing. It's on y'all, chat. If
Yeah,
y'all
it's on
want
y'all.
to get there, y'all get us there, man. Look at my number. Look at the number tonight. Ain't 6 people on? Where y'all at? Did we come on too late? See, that's what happened. I ain't put no video out in a whole week. You just went on last night. Look at, we've been lazy this week, Coach.
We got
I ain't did one video.
Going.
You finally went live last night.
Finally.
we just
It's been a couple weeks, man. I finally got my voice back. That's been the biggest thing.
Yeah, one of your videos was pretty funny, man. You was sounding. I can't really tell how you was sounding, but it's pretty funny. But coach, look like man, we have locked in some coaches. We unlocked in some coaches at Ole Miss. Let's talk about who they got back and who they got they mind on. You helped me to because a lot of people I had forgot. I had forgot because I'm 40. See, I almost forgot my age. I'm 48. Man, ain't that something? I'm having a child at 48. What the heck was I thinking? But I thought I was going to say I was 42. I'm 6 years off. So I'm 48. Sometimes I can't even remember what I ate yesterday. So kind of get us hip, get the chat hip on what has went and transpired at Ole Miss this week.
Well, I believe I don't have anything confirmed, but I do believe the Shark that Pete Golding has tweeted in the last 30, 40 minutes is a coach. Um, there's several names floating around. No one's nailed it down yet. Uh, but what we do have set in stone, we have John David Baker returns as the uh, he'll return as the offensive coordinator, and I'm excited about that hire, coach. He you know I think he was one of the main reasons why Dart and Trigg transferred from USC to Ole Miss. I think Pete Golden, obviously, I think that you can take everything he says in his press conference at his word. I don't think he's, you know, throwing subliminals or saying stuff. I think, he said we're going to find someone who runs the similar. He likes the scheme we run. We're going to find someone that can run that similar scheme where there's no change. And they end up going and bringing a guy back who took over the ECU offense, and it was ranked in the mid 120s and 130s in almost every category in the 2023 season. And then I've got it combined 2024 and 2025 to save time, but he finishes top 20 in total offense at ECU, top 35 in scoring offense, top 30 in passing offense, top 30 in third down conversions at a place with, resources aren't what he'll have at Ole Miss. And
Yeah.
I think so. I like the hire. And then I think, hiring Kevin Bolden back as your recruiting strategist, I thought that, that was a good move. I think one of the main reasons why he had went to LSU had to do a lot with the former head coach, and now he's back. And then you have the reported names. Frank Wilson's looking for an on-field role. Him and Pete Golden go way back to the UTSA days, I believe,
Yeah.
or maybe a prior
Pete,
stop
Pete,
before that.
Pete Golden was his defensive coordinator.
Yeah. So, uh, it's everybody's saying that he does not have an on-field role. That I don't know if he has a role at all with LSU, but definitely not an on-field one. And he wants an on-field role. And it's rumored that him and Pete have been in communication.
Hmm.
Ron Roberts and Pete have been in communication. That would potentially be maybe a defensive coordinator position, if you somehow added him. And then I thought the one that was interesting, I don't know, I haven't heard if there's been an interview or anything, but Jerry Neuheisel has been in Oxford. He served as the offensive coordinator for UCLA. Uh,
And they didn't retain him.
and they
UCLA
did
didn't
not.
retain him.
They did not.
Mm,
Bob
they did
Chesney
not.
did not retain him, and he's been spotted in Oxford. So, and if he's your tight ends coach, because he's not going to be your offensive coordinator, so I'm assuming he's a tight ends coach, something like that. I think that's a huge, thing to get a coordinator back as a position coach or whatever. Whatever he does, he's not going to be a coordinator. It's valuable knowledge. And the one thing that this tells me is that I think all these guys can recruit at a high level too. So I think you're going to see. Pete Golden was asked in his press conference Wednesday. Wasn't it Wednesday? Was it Wednesday or Thursday?
I think it was
Either way,
Thursday.
maybe it was Thursday. But he was asked if they would be as portal heavy in the Golding era as they were in the Kiffin era, and he said, "I will be good player heavy,
The player heavy.
whatever it takes to
Yeah.
However, we have to get the good players, whether it's high school recruiting or portal. But I would assume that they are going to try to, you know, put a little more effort into high school recruiting. Um, and I can see where people who agree with that, I can see where they agree, and people who disagree and say you've got a good thing going, don't change anything. I understand that too, but I do think that this staff's not only going to, if he gets the list that everybody's proposing, I think it's going to be a really good staff, and I think it's really good from a not only a on field standpoint, but I do think he's hired some elite recruiters if he gets all this done.
So I mean, to do all of that and then balance, getting ready for Tulane, in which that's something that we'll go over Thursday night. We don't want to dive into that right now because we want to be able to give you all a full breakdown of the playoffs this Thursday night. Um, our last basketball game is Tuesday, so we dive into the Christmas season after Tuesday. But looking at everything, David Kellum, and I'm gonna play an excerpt of it, just a instrumental of it. But man, he put out a video, and my brother-in-law, he came by today, and my brother-in-law, he came up to me, and he's the type my brother-in-law is missing. He's missing out on what his profession should have been. He should have been a comedian because it's the funniest dude in the world. But we were just sitting outside, and he said, "Man, I really hated Ole Miss." He said, "Man, I hated Ole Miss, and everybody had their reasons." He said that old rebel flag, and I was like, "Well, you do know that was our state flag too, so you must have hated Mississippi too." But he was coach. I thought you was froze, and we were just talking about it, and he was just like, he said, "But you and Mac took me to my first game in '95." He said, "Man, ever since then," he said, "Man, so to see we're in the playoffs," and he said we, and he's like, "Man, even if I can't get in the game," he said, "Man, we just ought to just go up there and just be around it." And I was kind of like, I'm with you, brother-in-law, and I think I'm gonna, regardless if I can get in the game or not, I think I'm just gonna go up there, and if not, I can go watch the game in student union if my ticket guy don't come through. But just looking at that stuff, and I begin to think about all of the stuff that we have went through, the coaches we went through, the players, not giving Patrick Willis a better career than that he should have, and how did we not know what we had in Dexter McCluster until Houston Nut got there? Just all those little things, man, and seeing all those players, man, thinking about Joey and Migo and all them guys that played there, and the guys that I knew, the guys that I had relationship with, my cousin Malcolm Williams, played. He played in the Cotton Bowl under Houston Nutt. So just all of those players, man. This is a bigger moment than I thought.
Right.
This is a bigger moment than I thought because I don't know. I guess I kind of downplayed it because we've missed it for the last couple of years where I felt like we should have been there. So when we got there, I had the mindset, okay, now we were we were supposed to be at anyway. But
Yeah.
it's a huge moment, and
I,
and
yeah. I watched the little promo video, and like I just thought of sitting there with my dad throughout the 2000s and 2010s, and like being there for you saw clips of the games that were
yeah,
there. Like Dexter McCluster's record-setting day against Tennessee, and
you was at that game.
yeah,
Me and my brother-in-law was at that game, and man, it was amazing. It was
uh,
amazing just to see.
going to the he he surprised me with tickets to the 2008 season, 2009 Cotton Bowl, the last one at Fair Park, and then you know uh, I think it wasn't a good game because we totally dominated them, but the 45-0 win in the Egg Bowl, 2008 Egg Bowl was
Oh,
huge.
Terrell Poe,
Yeah. Uh,
I love that. Hey, my buddy Mo, he disappeared. He probably went to concession stand. We didn't see him no more.
yeah. The and then the like 2003 Eli's senior year was special, because that was
Could have been
the
even better than that
second
if the
year.
field goal kicker would have hit the freaking field goal against LSU and we
Yeah.
played in the SEC championship. But
But that's, that goes back into the heartbreak and everything that got us to where we are now. Because I can also say that as many good times as there was, me and my dad sat through some rough years. We sat through the Ed Ogeron years. We sat through uh, the 2010 and 2011 Houston Nut, the
Orphan
end of the
and
Cutcliffe era. You know, it was there was
fourth,
some definitely
38.
some rough years too. So watching the video, I just got emotional because I was like, you know, we never. I can remember if we were, which we didn't have a college football playoff, but if in 2005, if we was sitting in the stands and we thought that we were going to host an event like this in
Man.
Oxford someday, I just think it, you know, everybody had been like, yeah, you guys are crazy, keep dreaming, and here we are.
And rightfully so. It ain't handed down because teams. I think now is harder because of everybody is level.
Yeah,
So to make it now is not. Man, I was sitting there and I was thinking about. I remember the first time I heard truck play. It basically wasn't nothing but a GT old counter tray, and we was playing Arkansas, and they gave it to we was at the 3 yard line. We was sitting in the end zone. We was sitting in the north end zone. That used to be where the student section was. Well, which is crazy. It's back there again. And they ran that. They ran that. They called it the truck, and they ran it. And all I saw was the back flap just flapping, and number 20 just burning. Man, John Avery
John Avery.
smoked Arkansas up the field, man. Or when Deuce took the kickoff back and at the 10 yard line, he do this right here. Like, man, if you don't run, or the egg bowl where Romero tosses it to Deuce and Deuce throw it back. That was a cold egg bowl. I remember we parked right off of the ramp going on to Highway 6, and we had to walk all the way to the stadium from that right off the ramp. And I remember that egg bowl, man. It's so many games. And what's crazy, coach, is that didn't even realize that we was at a monumental time. Well, a time now that we honor. Um, my seventh grade football team, our football coaches that time, they took us to homecoming in 1989. And we didn't realize that was the same game that Chucky Mullins got hurt in. But, we're a bunch of 11 and 12-year-olds. Wasn't nobody really concerned about no game. We was just running around. We was at that was probably all of our first time ever being at a game. And only thing we knew we had to be back at a certain time. And I remember we saw Willie Green catch the touchdown to keep it the game winning touchdown in the south end zone. I remember that because they had them old high school stadium seats then. It wasn't no bowl. So it wasn't until I saw the documentary that I realized, and I called my partner. I said, "Man, wasn't we at this game?" And lo and behold, we was at the Chucky Mullen game and didn't even realize that we was at a game that's now memorialized at Ole Miss.
yeah. It's
So a
it's
lot of
crazy to see the how far it's come.
yeah. I mean, just even from Coach O taking our names off of that, I'm still mad over that. Taking our names off our jerseys. That was one of the dumbest things. I'm still mad at him. But I tell you what, he's the boy, if I could get Coach O on, man, he's the greatest interviewer in the world, man. That dude, that dude is funny, man. But I remember Coach being in the locker room after the Egg Bowl. I remember being in the locker room after the Alabama game. I still got right now. I still got the picture of me and Hugh Freeze that we took before the game. He was walking down the hall, and I said, "Coach, can I get a picture?" He stopped. Like this is the biggest game of your career, and that man stopped in the hall because I was going to the locker room. He was coming out, and I just stopped and I asked him, "Could I get a picture?" And he stopped, turned around, and made sure the picture was right. And then he went on to the field, and that was the time I'll never forget that game because I was coaching at Bruce at the time, and I was trying to get us some type of routine at Bruce because, and we was in the locker room and the music was blasting. I'm talking about, man, it was coming through the loudspeaker. And I looked over there and Bo Wallace was just studying his playbook. And I said, this man ain't even affected by what's going
Yeah,
on around him. And I told Coach, I came back, I said, Coach, man, let me cut the music on like at 5 o'clock or something to just get our vibe going. And
yeah,
Coach Ray trusted me, man. He trusted me and at 5 o'clock, you ought to see the kid. They be looking. Like, Coach, ain't it 5 yet? I said, no, you got to wait a minute. As soon as 5 hit, man, I cut that music on. I said, as long as y'all stay under control, I want you to get your vibe ready for the game. And we started at 5 o'clock. We cut the loudspeaker on, And man, from 5 to 5:45, we had a list of songs that 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 we played for him. And all of that happened was because I saw Bo Wallace sit there, and I said, if he can be focused with all this music going on, this music should not stop us from being focused.
Yeah. Um, I, that game, and then like Dylan says in the chat, the 2014 Egg Bowl. That's another one too. That was, that ended Mississippi State's chance at a SEC championship. I think if they'd
Yeah,
have beat us that day, they'd play in the SEC championship game.
yeah.
So
Been some big moments, man.
yeah,
I
Walt
even
Hemingway's seen some big moments for sure.
not even that, but on the road, man. I was fortunate enough to have, family that played on the team. So whenever they would play like in Alabama or play in Auburn or play in places that I could drive to, you know, my cousins would, get me tickets. I go through the family gate. And I remember going to Tuscaloosa. I remember going to Auburn the year after Tuberville left. Migo got tickets for me. And I went in on the family side, and it was the year after Tuberville left, and we won that game in overtime. Man, you know how happy I was walking
Right.
back to my car, man, with my Ole Miss on. Man, I'm strutting, and that's when I realized football is a sport, man. That's how the world should be. Unfortunately, it's not. Them people didn't care that I was black. Man, them people were stopping me. The Auburn fans were stopping me like, man, you want some meat? Don't you go back on that road without eating something, man. Just stop on our 10. This is after we just won the game. Me and my brother-in-law was talking today. I remember Bradley Sowell. If y'all remember Bradley Sowell, offensive tackle at Ole Miss, ended up playing 9 years in NFL. Bradley Sowell, dad parked right beside us for 5 years. We tailgated together. Like Trail and Rashad was, younger than him. Like they threw footballs together. So when he signed with Ole Miss, it was just like, this is weird. Like this dude has been with us an 8 under our tent. My brother-in-law and his dad act like they the best of friends every season. Like they had been coming for years, and we knew Bradley Sowell even before he even signed with Ole Miss. We watched him. Each year he go from a kid to boom, and then all of a sudden we look up his junior year. He's 6'5", 6'4". Like what the heck happened to this kid?
Yeah. The it's always been a party place, but now and having a place to have great times. But now, you've got a chance to solidify yourself as in
Yeah.
this college world of college football with a win next Saturday.
And our fans have been the best, man. We have been through some time, and Ole Miss fans have always still been there. I didn't throw my hats away. Now I did threaten a boycott with Houston Nut. No, it was Ogeron. After the Egg Bowl, when we went for it on fourth down, I came
Yeah.
home.
Yep.
I was so mad. The Egg Bowl was I think it was on a Friday, I believe, that year. I was so mad. I told my mama, I'm through. I'm not supporting Ole Miss no more until they fire him. And then the next day, it come on the bottom line. Ocean Run fire. I said, okay, I can go grab my stuff. And that's how I felt this year. I said, man, I ain't gonna be able to get no tickets anyway. I done talked about Lane Kiffin so bad. They gonna see my name on the list and they're gonna be like, no, he ain't getting no tickets. So I was like,
Yeah.
my time getting tickets at Ole Miss is about to be over with anyway because I done talked about Lane so much. Lane read he if he ain't reading it, somebody's showing him stuff. Ben said it clear. Lane be seeing everything that people be saying. And when
Yeah.
they critical of him, he know it.
He knows it.
He knows. Well, Coach, man, look, quick show. Now I can get home and not get fussed at and go tend to my pregnant wife who will be 22 weeks tomorrow. And she explained to me how weeks and months go because I'm in the mindset of, 4 weeks equal a month. And 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20 is 4 months in my mind. But she had to, and she made me Google it, that 22 weeks is 6 months. I said, no, that's not right because that don't add up to be right. I said, you got to be 24 weeks to be 6 months. But apparently pregnancy got their own month. So,
Yeah.
I didn't know none of this stuff. I'm like, no, you're not 6 months. She said, well, go look it up. And I typed in 22 weeks pregnant. How many months is that? And they said 6 weeks. And I said, Google, you a lie. You a lie, Google. You ain't finna talk. You ain't finna make me feel like I'm dumb. I know I ain't been in school in a good minute, but you ain't finna make me feel like I'm dumb. Well, apparently I am. So we as the months go and they draw and I told my wife, I told her this. I said, now look, we're gonna have to make a truce. I said, I am not gonna allow my child to have no Mississippi State stuff on at all. I said, now I won't put her in nothing on Miss, but she's not wearing no state. And then my wife said, well, it'll be all right if she wear Ole Miss. I said, yeah,
There you go. There you go.
You ain't. I had somebody give Drew, my middle son. They gave him a when he was born. Gave him a Mississippi State. I threw it in the garbage. We don't wear Mississippi State around here. We use it for dry. We use it for rags. We don't wear no Mississippi State stuff down here. Are you crazy? I threw it in the garbage, coach. I said it's not getting no play in here. That's why when people have on other team stuff, I said, how can you wear it? See, my
There you
wife
go.
was slick though, because I like Don Staley. I like the South Carolina game, the Gamecocks. And when they won the national championship that year, I said, get me a shirt. She could have got me a white shirt.
You
Cause she
made
went.
sure it was
So
maroon.
now people got a double take when they see me. Like, you got a state shirt on? I said, no, you better read the shirt. It say South Carolina undefeated. Don't play. Don't play. She did that on purpose because she could have found me a white shirt. She could have found me a black shirt. I remember when Lee Chambers was at Coffeyville. Initially, he was going to Mississippi State. And I told Lee, I said, Lee, man, I want to support you. But boy, I can't. I can't do it. I said, now I can get you. I can wear your white shirt, and I just wear your number. It can't have no state or bulldog or nothing on it. I said, what I would do, I just wear your shirt. So so don't buy my child no Mississippi State stuff because it will go in the garbage. We don't do Mississippi State in my house. We gonna wear we for your colors red and blue. That's what we are, man.
There you
And
go.
man, I'm looking forward to everything. But man, LSU, we'll burn LSU. We use that for heating oil. No, whenever the sewage get blocked up, we find us some LSU shirts and dump it in the sewer, and so we could get clean. Sewage will clean the LSU colors off. That
There you
stuff,
go.
man. That stuff will mess up people lives, man. But man, I'm looking. Next week is gonna be huge, man. I'm looking forward to it as now we're getting back into a regular frame of football. Um, and we do got some NFL. We do got some NFL stuff going on tomorrow. Let me at least run down those games tomorrow and games of significant. How did you feel about what went on in Cleveland? I'm pretty sure you saw what Kevin Stefanski did, and do it make sense? Shador had the best game of his short career, and on a 2-point conversion, they ran a trick play
Yeah.
that did not transpire.
Because they played the Titans, didn't they?
Yeah, your Titans
That's
got
all
me.
you had to know. Like how I mean, how you going how do you need a trick play 2-point conversion to overcome that, man? Come on, man.
Well, they gave the Titans another win, messing up
Yeah.
y'all draft status.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, but you got the Browns. Will be traveling which is tomorrow. Is supposed to be the coldest game. I ain't gonna say in NFL history, but it's supposed to be in the top 10. So Shador and whoever else with the Browns, man, good luck. That's why I don't understand why the Buffalo Bills is building an open stadium.
They love it up there.
Like, that is crazy to me,
The
man.
fans love it, man.
My stupid Ravens, who can't win a freaking game, travels to Cincinnati tomorrow to take on the Bengals. We'll most likely lose the game. I have to sit back and watch Lamar Jackson sit there and tap dance like Sammy Davis Jr. and want to prove to everybody that he can throw the ball, which I don't care. You don't have no receivers anyway. Run, please. Quit messing up the freaking game. And at this point, we probably Derrick Henry, man, go somewhere else. I know it. I know, and somehow he got 1,000-yard rushing this year. That's kind of shocking. And he got 1,000 fumbles too. Tomorrow, a big game. This is a huge game, Coach. If the Kansas City Chiefs lose tomorrow, they are very possibly eliminated eliminated from the playoffs. They can't win their
Yeah,
division now.
that's
They're eliminated from that. So this
they got
is
the
a
Chargers,
must win for them.
and I don't know. I think they might get beat.
Now, what's the only thing that's working for them right now is at home. They're playing the Chargers at home, but the Chiefs are now they're 6-7 right now, which is, I don't think my lips have in the last 7 years at this time of the year have said the Chiefs were under 500. But
Yeah,
if they lose tomorrow, they will be 6-8, and the best they will be able to do is 9-8, and that will not make the playoffs in the AFC.
I feel like the Chargers are that type of team that this time of the year, especially the situation they're in, I wouldn't think that's the matchup they want right now because the Chargers. I'm not saying they're a great football team, but they just have found ways to win games. Like,
Harbaugh is a good coach, man.
yeah,
Harbaugh is a good coach. I mean, I don't like him, but man, you cannot knock what he has done in the NFL. He has crap anywhere.
yeah,
Anywhere. Look what he did at Stanford. Look what he did at Michigan. Then he went to San Francisco, went to the Super Bowl, and now the Chargers were not doing. When I say my friend Jonas, when I say he having the time of his life, if there was a fan that is having the time of his life, Jonah Armstrong is having the time of his life. Coach, he is an OKC fan, diehard. He is a Chargers fan, diehard. He is having the time of his life right now because both of his teams are rolling. Man, why I can't pick
must
this?
be nice. Must be nice.
I always pick the wrong freaking teams. All right, you got the Bills who are in danger of messing around and being on the road first in the playoffs. They got to travel to the 11-2 New England Patriots. The Skunk Bowl. The Washington Commanders 3-10 travel to the New York Football Giants, who is 2-11.
I was reading earlier that Marcus Freeman has been tied to the New York Giants.
Yeah, I've been hearing that now. But if you're Marcus Freeman, would you make that move? You're guaranteed you're going to be in the top 12 because your schedule is going to allow you to be that way. Would you make that move to go to the NFL?
Nah, I would stay where I'm at.
And not in the Giants?
Because who knows how many years they're going to give you there, and then it may be over with for you if it don't work out. So
2 years.
I wouldn't move.
Not
for that job.
You got the 2-11 Raiders traveling to the struggling Philadelphia Eagles, who lead their division at 8-5. But there will not be no first round bye for the Philadelphia Eagles. They are a team that I just coach year after year. I do not understand them. I don't understand. Like, I guess they don't make their runs until they get to the playoffs, but they are a very confusing team to me.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
But when it gets to clicking, it's clicking.
All right, you got the 3-10 Jets. Oh man, coach. Before I go on this, I got some breaking news. I text my guy and I said, "Hey man, if you pull these tickets off, man, you are a legend." My guy just texted me. Oh, I already got him. Confirmed. My guy just told me. Coach, we're going to the playoffs, baby. Coach, we're going to the playoffs, baby.
We going to the playoffs.
Hey, and we gonna do it. We doing a live at halftime. Coach, we going to the playoffs, man.
Let's go.
Man, let's go. I'm trying not to get too excited because I need to see them transferred to my email first. But Coach,
they there.
We going to the playoffs,
hey,
baby.
We got to find out what. It's a stripe out. We got to get our colors right.
Yeah, I got to figure out. I tell them you got to get it to me quick, man, so I can get to the right spot, man. Man, talking about what a way to start the Christmas holidays. And plus, Ole Miss need me there. We haven't lost a bowl game that I've been to. I count this as a postseason game. We ain't lost a postseason game.
Yeah.
I need to be there. I got to be there. And I can tell you right now, we win that one, I might be going to the Sugar Bowl.
There you go.
Go to New Orleans. I need to call my connect down there. Get me down there. But we got the 3-10 Jets. They are going to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. You got the 3-10. Man, so it's some terrible teams this year, brother. Like the draft, man, they everybody is trying to get that number one pick. You got the 3-10 Cardinals taking on the 8-5 Texans. You got the 9-3-1, which I'll be glad when the NFL get rid of ties. This is going to be a good one. You got the 9-3-1 Packers traveling to Denver to take on the 11-2 Broncos. You got the 8-5 Lions to take on the 10-3 Los Angeles Rams. New, here's what's crazy, Coach. With Tampa Bay losing last night, they dropped to 7-7. The
Panthers,
Carolina Panthers,
they up.
if they win tomorrow, will
Yeah.
be in sole first place in the AFC. I mean, in the NFC South.
That's when you know it's a
Who
long
would have
season,
thunk
coach,
it?
because we were talking about did we not do a show about a month ago where we were talking about early season awards, and I think I said I'd probably consider Baker like a candidate for
Coach, I was
off.
with you.
Yeah.
I was with you.
It's proof that it is a long
Good
season.
night, man. Coach, the Panthers, if they beat the Saints tomorrow, will be in first place and will control their own destiny
But you know the
because of the one
Saints
team making to the playoffs.
do what the Titans do sometimes. Like the Saints are in that position where they need to just lose and lose games, and they end up winning
win.
one here and there. They might go ahead and spoil it tomorrow for Carolina.
But, Coach, I can't even talk about folk no more because my team look like hot garbage, so I don't even try to. Speaking of teams, the 2-11 Titans
Skip it. Move on.
is traveling to San Francisco.
That's what I had a live Tuesday night, and someone was like, "Is this an NFL live?" And I was like, "Hell no! My team's 2-11. Moving on. I have no reason to be excited about watching the NFL. I'm waiting for the draft."
Hey, well, at least your team ain't still trying to draft Ray Lewis every year because we won't. That's why we don't have no receivers. We got our receivers is Billy Jack Jones and Jeremiah Pincho and Caleb Renner. Name exactly. We don't even know who our receivers are. We keep trying to draft Ray Lewis. We draft Greg Lewis and we draft Mag Lewis. We drafting all these Lewises. Ray Lewis is gone. Try to get some offense in Baltimore. Crap, because you locked in with Lamar for another 3 years at least. You gave him all this money. But the 2-11 Titans will be traveling to San Francisco to take on the 9-4 49ers. Coach, 44-year-old, this Phillip Rivers will be
Grandfather.
will be starting for the Indianapolis Colts tomorrow as they go to Seattle to take on. That is crazy. Is Richardson still down? Is he out or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he still is. He's still alive.
There's nobody else they could find. He could
not.
He could not get away from people when he was 34.
Yeah.
Because let's put this in perspective. 44. You ain't there yet. But I've been there. I was there 4 years ago. 4 years ago, Coach, we played a teachers versus student game. 5 days after that teacher versus student game, I was still sore. And that ain't even contact. So you telling me
a little bit of money make that a little more palatable?
Your body don't know if you're getting paid or not. And you ain't did nothing. And I tell you what, man, I hate to see the coach season go down the drain like this. But and who would have thought that Daniel Jones going down would end the coach season? But they shouldn't. When they kept complaining, when they kept showing the injury, I knew exactly it was his Achilles. Why were they pressing and pushing for him to play? He was going to eventually tear it anyway. I'm shocked that Christian McCaffrey unsurvived this long. Yeah. That he ain't tore his. Anytime those calf injuries continue to linger, you need to shut them down because the next phase and the next step is a torn Achilles. But these teams just continue on. And then the nightcap, you got the 5-8 Vikings taking on the 6-1 Cowboys. That's a game I'll skip. And on Monday Night Football, you got the 6-7 Dolphins traveling to the 7-6 Steelers. And that will wrap up our NFL. A couple of good stories happening in NFL, and I will try to do. I know I keep saying it every week, and I haven't done one, but I will try to get an NFL video up eventually. But those are the games on tomorrow. As far as Ole Miss men's basketball, it's not looking good right now.
They pulled one off today.
Yeah, they barely, barely. I don't know what's usually when it comes to Ole Miss basketball. I'd be like, you know what? Let's just wait till the SEC time start because we always start hot. Well, no, I guess they said ain't no sense of waiting till the SEC time. Let's go ahead and start looking like garbage right now. And but they pulled it off today. They were able to beat they were they were able to beat
Southern
Southern
Miss.
Miss. Whoop de doo. They won 71-67. And on tomorrow they will play. Well, it's not tomorrow. They're not in the tournament. Now the women. I didn't know the women had lost a game. I've been
Kansas
following
State.
them. Who?
Kansas State beat them in the
Kansas
last
State.
second. Yeah, last second layup.
Okay. And yeah, right now update on the NBA Cup. The Knicks defeated Orlando to advance to the finals, and right now OKC is up 14-6 against the Spurs. Coach, OKC look like they will break the way they're playing. If they stay healthy, Coach, I don't see why they can't win 74, 75 games this year, Coach.
And didn't was it New Orleans who traded ended up trading a pick? Don't they ain't OKC in pretty high in like chances to get a lottery pick too? Like
Yeah,
you want to talk about a well run organization?
man. Whoever done it, man, he need to be commended because all of their stuff was done through trades and picks, and they have a and a lot of people knock their organization for paying, Jalen Williams so much, paying SGA, paying Chet so much, but ain't that what you're supposed to do? Is keep your team
Yeah.
together when they win.
keep, keep your
Like
team together.
I think sometimes people just want to argue about dumb stuff. Like if they wouldn't have signed them, everybody would have been critical of them not signing and not keeping their team together. Now that they did sign them and keep them together, people are complaining that they paid them. If you don't pay them, somebody is.
Yep.
So I just think the organization is doing an amazing job. And right now, they look like a machine.
You're in your window, you maximize on it. You win all you can while your window's open.
They're young and in their prime.
Yep.
That is dangerous.
So you go win. You do what it takes.
Coach, they're 24-1, Coach.
Yeah.
They've opened up the first 25 games of the season 24-1. That is freaking amazing. And SGA is that dude. It's amazing that the Clippers let him get away. And to see Chet, I always thought Chet was going to be too small. I just said he's not. He's just so little. I said he's not going to be effective in the NBA. And I can see he got one little vein on his arm, but he's a little dude. I saw he's at the free throw line. He got one little vein on his arm. But Coach, let's see. Let me make sure I'm checking Saturday night right now. And John Cena is on. John Cena is in for his last match. And I'm gonna try to turn this up, man. There's a lot of people there. You got Mark Henry. Just saw Kurt Angle. Let's see who else.
The
Booker
last
T.
time is now.
Booker T is in the stand. They go Sami Zayn. I wonder why did they choose Gunther?
He won it. Coach, it's not scripted. He won the last time is now.
Oh, okay. I mean, I wonder why Gunther won.
tournament.
Oh,
The man went out and won.
I wonder why Gunther. How did he win it? It's just
I'm just not a Gunther guy or
uh,
Gunther, whatever. I'm just not a
he
fan.
belongs in the '90s, coach.
Yeah.
He would have fit well in the '90s. Let's listen. Let's listen to the intro.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Vienna, Austria.
He's he, God.
250 pounds, the ring general,
I mean, why he look like the Russian in Rocky Four?
He
If he dies, he dies.
and his opponent, from West Newbury, Massachusetts, weighing in at 250
I wonder how he feel right now. You've been in this profession all, pretty much your whole adult life.
The never seen 17, celebrating with each and every one of you here tonight in DC for one final time, the last real champion, John Cena.
Man, that's cool, bro.
I bet that pop was crazy when his music
That's
hit.
cool, bro. And I could go back and rewind it. I just want to hear his pop. I want to hear his pop when his music came on.
Mistake. John Cena is the absolute. Do the same, because ladies and gentlemen, John Cena's
Like
23
Gunther,
year
man. Like,
journey
really?
now reaches the finish line.
He looked like somebody's uncle that's supposed to been put in the nursing home and they just left him at the house. Waiting for the music to pop. WWE know how to do that type of stuff, man. Not gonna lie, coach, it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. If you a wrestling fan, this is pretty cool. And I guess a lot of the wrestlers didn't get a chance to retire. They got hurt.
Yeah.
Man,
Oh yeah, he got a pop.
man. Coach, they hit all the lights too. Now he don't need to run to the ring because he run like he got
He does run. Yeah.
like he got rheumatoid arthritis or something. I'd be well. They done started wrestling now.
Where will the normally stoic.
Well, Coach, man, I'm gonna get off and I'm gonna watch the rest of this match, man. And this is pretty cool. But we thank everybody for joining Coach and Coach podcast. As you can see, we do it all around here. Me and Coach are wrestling fans too. But make sure that you subscribe, follow us. Coach. We didn't get to 1,000 followers. Chat fan, I'm mad at y'all. I put that post and I played after the love is gone and I had the lights flickering and we didn't get to 1,000 followers. So chat, do me a favor. Get 5 people to follow us so we can get to 1,000 next week. Get us to 1,000. Get us to 1,000 before the playoff game. Get us to 1,000. But we thank everybody that joined us tonight. And man, we can't wait till next week. Coach will drop another college show. I'm gonna drop something. Whatever happens, I'll do some type of video. You get your 10 minutes with me, and you'll get live with Coach. But we will do something next week, and make sure you join us next Thursday as we get ready for the playoffs. And one more time, the icon, the legend, in his final match. And until we see you again, Coach, man, let them know how we feel. The time is up for the night, but we'll catch you on the next one. We the Coach and Coach Podcast. See you when we see you.